All right, welcome back to Sharp Edge News TV. Welcome, guys. We're just trying to pick up on where we left off, but we're back. So Trump in Japan. This is Ola. I have with me High Chief Oladimeji Abitogun. Trump in Japan, while U.S. government remains shut down. Now,
Mhm.
this is one of those moments where politics and optics collide. President Donald Trump is shaking hands with Japan's Emperor Naruhito at Tokyo's Imperial Palace, all smiles abroad, while back home in the United States, the federal government is still shut down. Washington is gridlocked as Democrats and Republicans dig their heels in over healthcare and spending with no deal in sight. Yet, Trump's Asia tour rolls on. Next up, a high-stakes first meeting with Japan's new Prime Minister, Sanae Takaichi, where trade, defense, and tariffs are all on the table. It's a contrast that's hard to ignore. Diplomacy overseas, dysfunction at home. So, Chief, what do you make of this timing? Is Trump smartly multitasking, global priorities, or do this look like a leader abroad while his home house is burning? What's your take on this?
Seems curious to me and paradoxical that uh, President Donald Trump, who appeared and said things that diminished the global uh, reach, that is, of the United States of America, has now made this a deliberate effort to step out. Um, yes, in spite of the lingering situation of a government shutdown and possible layoff of a certain category of workers from what he himself said, and the fact that for an unprecedented number of days now, some federal workers have not been paid, and we're beginning to see visible signs on, at major airports across the United States concerning handlers of passengers and cargoes and what have you, who are not showing up at work anymore because their pay is not forthcoming. So when President Donald Trump does take this swing against what we know of him to not to be somebody who has some muscle or strength about being an internationalist. That really cause for concern. What is driving this major global engagement? And we should also note particularly that there's no. Donald Trump has been to Europe, has been to Arab countries, which they call Middle East, and particularly Israel and what have you. Now is in Asia, and people who have really tried to focus their lens on the character and the politics of Donald Trump may not be mistaken that, okay, so Africa is going to come last on the plate, or what is happening? And nobody is really jostling for his approval or what have you. But look at the attempt at, again, pulling the trigger on a tariff war between the United States and Canada, even as he steps out to the world out there. Yes, I agree with the divided, some of the opinions are not divided, but then some people who said he should have attended to our domestic issues in the United States here before launching out on this diplomatic shuttle to um, to some Asian countries, if not the Far East. But do not forget that if you spot Mr. Donald Trump today at the Imperial Palace in Japan, you know that he also has this fascination with such grandiose structures. Look at the sudden effort, the undebated, the unapproved, something that was not discussed with us American taxpayers, the effort at reworking the White House with a 90,000 square meter ballroom, gold plate, and then tampering with the history and the conservation in the United States here. And you look at some of his international engagements, whether it's about the unproven situation of what people who are being killed on Venezuela seas, people that are suspected of trafficking in narcotics without the approval of the Congress, or the attempt at moving military equipment offshore of Venezuela, and all these things, what is speaking to. Honestly, unless somebody sits down, views critically the direction of things, or what is informing the direction of things for Mr. Donald Trump, it will be hard to place a hand or a handle on what he really wants, what the direction of our foreign policy seems to be to the entire world. That said, some people are also concerned that Donald Trump may be trying to cultivate the friendship of certain countries in his what's it called, in his voyage on this tariff of a thing. Remember, he is also threatening now to hop things against China. Whatever is driving these things, we do not know for sure. Sometimes he speaks extempore, like the desire to possibly meet with the strongman of North Korea if the opportunity is given, even as he also thinks of meeting the leader of China. So all these things put together, we are trying to distill the entire situation, try to make sure that we understand what is in this for us as a country and what is personal for Donald Trump in the entire trip. But he does what he doesn't usually, he just did what he doesn't usually do. In Kuala Lumpur, you saw him engaging in some kind of dance with the cheering crowd in that country. You don't usually see Donald Trump doing that. But wherever he goes, I know nobody will be able to perform. Nobody will be able to outperform the African audience or his African future possible host whenever he chooses to have a stop in Africa. That is an opportunity the world is waiting for. Hello?
I'm here. I'm listening.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a question I'm going to ask you. I also want to ask the audience. I'm looking at hold on, let me pull myself to the screen. I'm looking at Marriott and Natsu. Okay, so Marriott says we're waiting for the Bambiala images from the US. He wants worship, adoration, and bribes.
Yes, that may be true to some extent, but at this point, I do not think that it will be a good optic for him to see Americans do the Bambiala of a thing. But already, you know what it is. Because of this government shutdown in the United States, food banks are already overflowing with American families just because things are getting tighter. The prices of groceries are spiking already. So something has to be done, something drastic for that matter. Even some of the, Republican base, people who would not even blink an eyelid before throwing their support behind him during the electioneering period. You see them now complaining that, oh, why would you want to import beef from South America when even here it's becoming so difficult for American what's it called? American cattle rearers and what have you to really be able to pull deals across. So everybody is waiting to tackle Donald Trump on the claim of being a good deal maker. And do not also forget that in several courts all over the country, people are waiting to challenge his policies on deportation, his policies on not just tariff, and how American citizens are picking the bills on those tariffs. Because in truth, those countries that are being, let's use the word, being taxed, I mean, who are expected to pay this tariff? They do not pay the tariff just like that. American consumers ultimately pick the bill. So
I'm looking at this. I'm looking in subsequent news about Trump. I'm looking at this on theguardian.com. It says Trump left the door open to a third term. I'm wondering if he's playing with people's emotions here. It says a constitutional impossibility, saying he would love to do it, but wouldn't use a vice presidential loophole, which he called too cute. Am I not ruling it out? I mean, you'll have to tell me. He said in a gargle on Monday. So
yes,
what's your take
he's
on
not
that?
just the one pushing hard for this. Of course, you have heard it from one of his leading political ideologues, Steve Miller. And honestly, when this guy flies the kite of an idea, it's something that quickly gains traction, and then before our eyes unfolds as a reality that we must deal with. He has been doing this dangerous, delicate dance around the issue of third term, which of course may be unconstitutional. But who knows? If Donald Trump is fascinated by the phenomenon of the Paul Biya and the Yoweri Museveni of this world, Paul Biya in Cameroon, who at over 90 has just allegedly won the ticket to lead his country again, who doesn't maintain a presence of mind at any public forum. His own child even campaigned against him. And then by the time he finishes this new term that has just...
So he's sowing the seed in the hearts of the people that will want him to stay there. And they're probably cooking it. Mario says, right, uncle, he's floating it. Next thing, they start working on it. The Supreme Court will make it happen.
Who says Africa has nothing to offer the world at times? But that fascination is just hard to me. It's so ironical that he will be fascinated by the road taken by sit-tight leaders in Africa, whether by Paul Biya, who would already be close to 100 years. He's the longest sitting president anywhere in the world. He's been there for over 42 years.
I mean, he'll break record.
Long before so many adults who have already become grandfathers now, long before they were born. And that of Yoweri Museveni in Uganda. So, who says Africa is not really impacting on the world? So maybe Donald Trump is fascinated by this kind of situation, this kind of phenomenon. Who knows? So Africa has something to really celebrate. That somebody is really learning fast.
All right, I'm going to ask the audience so we can move on to the other stories. On a scale of 1 to 10, what are the chances that Donald Trump will do a third term, in your opinion? Just put that in the chat, in the comments, as we move on to other trending stories around the world. We'll be right back.